In this video, we will learn about plant movements. Plants respond to various stimulus such as light, touch, temperature, gravity, etc. So we can see those responses in the form of movements. The higher plants are fixed in a position, that is to a substratum. Generally it is soil. They are fixed in a position with the help of roots. So they cannot really locomote, that is move from one place to another. But they can show movements within their organs or the parts. So such movements are important to us to analyze how the plants responds to a particular stimulus. So the plant movements are mainly of two types. One is the growth dependent movements. Second is growth independent movements known as the tergar movements. So first we will understand growth dependent movement or tropic movements or tropism. Growth dependent movements are produced due to differential or unequal growth pattern in different parts of the plant. So this response is due to external stimulus. It can be light, it can be gravity, it can be touch, so on. So these movement or directional movements are known as tropic movements or tropism. Tropic movements are directional movements of plant parts in response to some of the external stimulus, and they occur due to differential growth and may be in the form or may be in the direction of stimulus, or it can also be away from the source of stimulus, and they are also known as movements of curvature. The tropic movements are of following types. First is phototropism, that is movement towards the light. Geotropism, movement towards gravity. Hydrotropism refers to movement with respect to water. Thigmotropism, movement due to stimulus such as touch. Chemotropism, movement due to chemical stimulus. First, we will try to understand phototropism or phototropic movements. So these movements are stimulated by the photons or the light energy. So it is a directional growth movement of curvature in response to unidirectional light. So here we can see the light is coming from one single direction, and we can see the shoot part has bent towards the light. So when a growing plant is placed near a window, it bends towards the window to obtain light energy for photosynthesis. This is because the auxin, which is a growth promoter hormones, gets diffused onto the shaded part, that is the opposite direction. So it will promote cell elongation on this part. So because of unequal distribution of auxin and unequal growth pattern, the shoot will bend. So the region of photoperception is shoot apex, and the region of response is the area of shoot elongation. Now if we see the stimulus is sunlight, and photoreceptor is a pigment, that is a flavoprotein known as phytochrome. So in a plant, shoot is said to be positively phototropic because it bends towards the direction of the stimulus, that is light, whereas root is said to be negatively phototropic. Here we can see root always grows away from the light energy. So it is negatively phototropic. Whereas the leaves that are present on the shoot generally remain at right angles so that they can receive maximum light energy. So they are said to be diphototropic. Next we have second type of tropic movement known as geotropism. Geotropism is the directional growth movement of curvature in response to gravity. Both shoot and root show gravitropism or geotropism. The shoot grows upwards against the Earth's gravitation, so we can tell it is negatively geotropic. The root shows downwards movement, that is towards the gravitational force of the Earth. Hence we say root is positively geotropic. Here the gravitational force is the stimulus. Root cap, nodes and shoot apex are regions of gravity perception, and the zone of elongation in both root and shoot are regions of response. Geotropism, if we see, if the root is growing downward straight, then the auxin is distributed uniformly. So tip produces growth substance diffuses back along the root. and cell expand less as hormones reaches them on both the sides and affect at the same extent. But if we place the plant horizontally, then what happens? The more growth hormone will reach the lower side of the root and more growth of cells on the upper side can be seen. It reduces growth of cells on the lower side. So root curves down towards the pull of gravity. Next tropic movement is hydrotropism. Hydrotropism is a movement of curvature in response to water. Roots are positively hydrotropic and shoot is negatively hydrotropic. And this can be demonstrated by placing a few germinating seeds in moist sawdust in an inclined position and with a sieve. So we will see the radical first grows downwards towards the gravity but then turns upward to obtain water from sawdust. By this demonstration, we can say hydrotropic response is stronger than geotropic response. So to understand this, we'll see this experimental setup. We have a petri dish and we have put the sawdust and the germinating seeds. So the moisture will get clogged or moisture will get deposited more on the right side. So moist sawdust will be on the right side whereas on the left side we have most of the dry sawdust because we have an inclined position. So first the radical has grown downwards or towards the gravity, but then it curved back to reach the moist surface. So this shows hydrotropism is stronger force compared to gravity. Next we have thigmotropism. So it is a directional growth movement of curvature in response to stimulus of contact. So twiners and tendrils show thigmotropism. They show less growth in the region of contact with support and more growth on the other side. So the tendril which is towards the contact or the support will have lesser rate of cell elongation compared to the part which is away from the support. So this helps the twiner to make a round around the support. Next is chemotropism. Chemotropism is also directional growth movement in response to stimulus such as chemicals. For example, if we see pollen grain which will land on the stigma will start germinating and grows down through the style to reach the ovule. So this is due to the chemical or the stigmatic fluid which is produced by the ovule after the pollination. I hope this topic is clear to you. Thank you.